Hello, this is T Chapman 500, and today I'm doing a progress report video on Sandbox 2. A quick overview of the interface. On the far left we have the system file browser, which is an option available in MFC. So I'm hoping to make this usable so that you can just add files to project as needed. To the right of that, we have what's currently being called the class view. This is basically the MFC Visual Studio generated content. This will eventually be called the Scene Explorer and will display every single object in the scene. The file view will display all of the files used by the racetrack, and I'm hoping that if there are any files missing, it will display in red eventually. So down on the bottom we have the output window, and there are 3 tabs right now. I think in the end there will be only 2 tabs. Maybe. I haven't finalized these tabs. This is what Visual Studio generated, so right now this is what we have. I interrupt this live commentary to bring you a post commentary about the Build tab. The Build tab will display information about the build, so when you go to build the racetrack, whatever happens is displayed in that Build tab, and if there's a problem, it tells you. The Debug tab will probably display information for if something goes wrong, like you load a model that doesn't have a texture, that'll be put in the Debug tab, maybe. Or if something happens with the track editor that we're not expecting, then it'll be put in the Debug tab. But I'm not quite sure about that yet. And the Find tab just won't be there. Instead, what I'm probably going to do is replace it with some sort of Script tab, which will have a console and a script output window. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this on any web pages or anything, but I plan to have implemented Lua scripting for when the track editor reaches the feature complete stage. I am not sure if there will be any other tabs. I can't think of any right now, but that might change. Anyways, back to the live commentary. So to the right we have the Properties window. This will display the property of anything on the scene that is selected. So it'll display the properties of guides or backgrounds, track segments, track sections, and a few other things. Actually, a lot of other things. Now below here, in this little area, is a sort of a description window of the current properties. I am definitely going to be taking advantage of that. Also, yeah, you can resize these windows. Also, these are docking panes, so you can do something like this and move these over to a separate window. You can even combine these together like this, or in any configuration that you want. So, whoops. Let's increase the size of that and do that. Yeah, something like this. So, ooh. So you can move this off to a second monitor. In this case, I've moved it off to the monitor on the left. We can move this. This will eventually also be a docking pane as well. So you'll get nearly this entire viewport area available. Pane 2, what's that? Didn't notice this before. But yeah, you'll eventually be able to get this entire viewport available for viewing your track and doing all your stuff. But I need to get this into a dockable pane. So this ribbon is going to be where all the settings are going to be stored. Now, what you see here in the viewport are three different things. First off, the grid origin marker. It's the exact same color as Sandbox, and right now I have it set to a 6 pixel radius. The default is a 5 pixel radius. Post commentary again. Whenever I use the word default setting in this context, right now for this video, it always means the original Sandbox defaults, unless I'm referring to a feature that is not in the original Sandbox, such as the major grid lines that are a different color from the original, as well as the axis color grid lines. Okay, back to the live commentary. We also have the grid lines at 10 meters by default, and as you can see, it dynamically scales. So as you zoom in, you can get a bigger or smaller grid. Post commentary again. Hopefully this will be the final time. The dynamic scaling settings I plan to be customizable, so you can control the number of pixels between the grid lines before the dynamic scaling takes place. Back to live commentary. The major intervals are on a slightly brighter color than the default. The minor grid lines are on the default color. The background's the default color, at least from Sandbox. And all of this, what you see here, is going to be customizable. And to zoom in, instead of using X, Z, and C, which doesn't work here, I'm just holding the middle mouse button down and then scrolling the mouse wheel. So I find this to be a bit more convenient than Sandbox's method. So it is conceivable that you can use almost exclusively the mouse to build your racetrack and to pan around like this. By the way, I was able to implement the panning function correctly on my first attempt. So, that's a first for me. Also, I plan to put this track editor onto Steam Early Access. There will be 3 milestones to this project, the first being the bare minimum milestone, followed by the Sandbox complete milestone, followed by the feature complete milestone. Oh, by the way, the official section of the website for this track editor is going to be moved from its current position to gaming.tchapman500.com. So, look for that change to happen, quote-unquote, soon. Now, one more thing I want to talk about is the pricing plan for this track editor. I don't have a finalized plan yet, but I do plan on the track editor starting out at a price of $15 when it reaches the bare minimum milestone and is then put on Steam Early Access. And then when it reaches the Sandbox Complete milestone, I plan to raise the price to $20. Once we get out of Early Access, after reaching the Feature Complete milestone, I plan to increase the price from $20 to $40. So that's the pricing plan. It's not finalized, and I'm really hoping that it's reasonable and would like some feedback. Also, I know I said that the pricing plan was going to be the last thing I discussed, but I did remember one more thing, and my voice is getting sore now. Um, Supplementary tools. Okay, I'm gonna do this in the post commentary because I did not explain this well in the live commentary. After the feature complete milestone is reached, I may try to develop some tools to make it easier for users to make fully customizable 3DO files, at least that which is relevant to racetracks, without requiring an old version of 3ds Max which can no longer be obtained legally. So this supplementary tool would make it much easier for you to fully utilize the full potential of 3DO files, at the very least with what's relevant to racetracks. Don't expect to be able to model cars that you can drive around the tracks though, because that wouldn't be the point of these supplementary tools. And I'm not exactly sure how many of these tools would be present. It could be just one, but it might be multiple. Anyways, back to the live commentary for the final time, hopefully. Anyways, that's just about it. Really, that's just about it this time. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and also check out the primary channel for non-gaming related content. If you want to support this channel, you can do so via Patreon, PayPal, or Subscribestar. Links are in the description. This is T Chapman 500 signing off.